There's something to be said about hard-nosed full contact. It's like that raw rap all the way back to boom bap. Spikes up, Ty Cobb inspired killing the corners. Heating up with recklessness, we still getting warmer. Nevertheless, nothing can test, we bring it best. Wile E. Coyote mixed with Roadrunner, folk comers. Holding your title hostage, the kings we smoke others. You're either with us or against us, it doesn't matter which. Scouting your weakness, we bring the wrath when we hit. There's never been a squad as raw as trash can spit. You might get bashed with a stick while I'm pounding a fence. Look around, you're a fish while I'm rounding it quick. Take a look at the base and sprint off with a fist in your face. No remorse, no mercy, no force can hurt me. The scouts purposely bring the pain, come try to work me. But there's a crew of dirty cats.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats, raccoons, goats, zebras, elephants, toucans, roadrunners. All animals are welcome here at the Glue Guys program. And I did all that show off the top of my MF and dome.
Look at you with the freestyle shit.
Not to be confused with MF Doom. MF Dome. Shout out. Hey, so Los, let's start the show. I have a question. Nice. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's kind of clean.
That's that symmetry, man. Takes like a year.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you, sir. Very serious, important question.
Yeah.
Can I kick it?
Yes, you can.
That's my man. That's right.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Very important question. You people, someday you'll all realize just how important that truly is. All right. Hey, good evening. Welcome Wednesday evening again with your favorite two guys talking about whatever the hell we want on the internet. Yeah, you know I had to classify it. Welcome to the Glue Guys program. Every week behind me, folks, I have our YouTube channel up. Go to glueguysprogram.com. That will take you to our YouTube channel. YouTube channel. Wow, getting off to a rocky start here tonight, kind of like the Lakers. Our YouTube channel, that link will take you right there, glueguysprogram.com. All of our shows are archived for your viewing pleasure. So even the ones I might not be proud of, we leave them the hell up there. So, I don't know, roughly a year and change ago, I said some things with some fire behind me and a nuke and a propane tank blowing up. That show's on there. Our world famous coin flip to determine the tournament, that's still up there. So plenty of our old stuff in there. He's up. If you can't see him, that's your problem, Mick. Vic Rattlehead's up back there somewhere. He's back there somewhere. Although those shelves keep challenging me. But they're up there. If you look, I got DMX all the way to the right of the one shelf so he can get in the shot there on top of the two black boxes. Where my dogs at? Yeah, all our old shows up on YouTube, man. I was watching an old one of the first ones we did, and it's kind of crazy the changes that have happened between, obviously, you moving into your new casa, as the Funkos grew behind me, the monitor, all kinds of stuff, man. So, and the lighting, I think for the first 6 months, you couldn't even see me. It was like I was doing some deep throat, undercover shit. So we have improved the program, even though... Yeah, there it is.
You know I wasn't gonna let you go. Yeah, I wasn't gonna let you go on that one, dude.
Get it out of the way early.
Pretty much.
And then, of course, although it looks like just a big orange glob, that is our GG logo neon sign back there, also, which I'm quite proud of. I still got some stickers left. I saw you were you're getting them out there with all your Blaze Rock merchandise. That's pretty cool. Sending out the gift package there. I saw that on Insta. And then, so anyway, let's jump right in. Tonight, we are going to review the last weekend's NCS tournament out at the parking lot, the asphalt paradise that is known as Tempe Sports Complex.
Man, I wish people just stop scheduling tournaments at that field.
I mean,
just stop.
I didn't think I was going to make it over the weekend. It looked like I had to work, but I myself a nice long overnight drive because JD needed some boys on Sunday, and I got to play one game Sunday, so I saw some things. Yeah, it's even worse of a parking lot. Like you just sweep your foot in the batter's box, and you're literally on concrete, and you can't set your front foot, so just forget it. Yeah, just forget it. Front foot ain't happening. I mean, I don't know what I got to do. I had to bring like spikes to like knock out the batter's box before the game, try to turn it over. I don't know if I should start bringing a artificial grass mat. I mean, Legacy's looking for cash. Maybe I go get a deal and like, have them cut out a part of the field for me. Which, the rumors that it's sold.
I mean, they didn't pay for it anyway, so
yeah, right.
At least somebody getting some money.
Yeah, I guess they changed the name of the Facebook group to Elite Sports Group. I got no info on it. If a sale happened, it's not official, at least to where you could check it. I find it hard to believe that we could even call it a sale. That's going to be a liquidation. So I'm very curious to see if this happened, if there's details. No, I leave the host to other guys on the softball field. We got enough of them out there already. You know what I'm saying? Arizona State softball dad jokes in effect today. Anyway, so we're going to recap this tournament. We're going to go to some of the results. And I played one game on Sunday. You were smart and stayed way west of the 17 because the parts of 17, the 60, the 10, and the 202 were all fucking closed. So getting to Tempe was an adventure through downtown Mesa. Fun. Just fucking fun. But a guy was there all weekend and broadcast. Our friend Dre Bogan is going to join us here. I think he wrapped up his program, the recap. I think he is waiting in the wings here. So he was actually there. So I think better to bring someone who was there rather than us pontificate. Although I can guarantee you, Los and I can just look at the scores, and I guarantee you we're going to be right around 85-90% correct to what happened. I'm pretty confident with that statement.
I mean, fuck it, man.
No, it's not. Over time, guys usually stick to what they do team-wise. Now, look, you got those teams that pick up 4 or 5 guys every tournament, so it's a little harder to predict. But in looking at the scores from the weekend, no, I think we would have got it dead on.
Man, let's go ahead and bring Dre in because I'm gonna be honest, right? The first thing I want to say is fuck Tempe Sports Complex. Fuck Tempe Sports Complex. I wasn't even there, but I tell you, everything I kept seeing from people is how shitty those fucking fields are. A number of people I know were pretty scarred up, banged up, basically from just, typical plays that you would make on, I don't know, a softball field and not have to come home with, and practically need stitches or some shit. Like you might as well have just been playing on the fucking asphalt, like you said a couple times with jokes, but it's pretty bad and it gets worse. I really just wish, I'm going to say it again, I really just wish people would stop setting up tournaments at Tempe Sports Complex because the city of Tempe clearly has no intention whatsoever of improving those fields in any way. And so, yeah, it's probably cheap. I know that, directors, they want to make their bread and that's cool. I'm all for the fun, when it's entrepreneurial spirit and all that good shit. But these fields fucking suck. And, when they're that bad, it's like, how do you even feel good charging full price for, a third condition of the fucking fields? Nonetheless, let's get my man Dre on here too, back in the building. I'm gonna leave Tempe alone. I don't give a shit, dude. Tempe is trash. They need to stop that shit. And we just keep doing it. They're like, oh, it's summertime. What's worse is why the fuck does everybody go to Tempe in the summer? Tempe has no shade, no cover, no nothing. It's just a fucking park in the middle of the. I was gonna say in the middle of the concrete, but I mean it's concrete with dust on it. So I mean, fuck it.
Well, I mean, just real quick, that's probably why the Cardinals built their practice facility right next to this place. Probably got a really good deal. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you're gonna put trash next to trash, you might as well make it hey, shit, fuck it. I don't know. It's just that's so bad, bro. Like I've never heard anybody go, yo, Tempe, that's a crazy tournament, man. I can't wait to go there. What? No one wants to be a Tempe, and it's just that most of the time our players are so excited to play, they don't give a fuck where it is. Like, oh fuck it, let's just put it in the middle of nowhere. Clearly that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the Harlem tournaments, I love Harlem. Shout out to him, but some of his tournaments are at the wildest fucking parks. Like, we just find us in the middle of nowhere. Shit. Yeah, man, and Tempe is pretty close to that. Tempe's like on the border. Tempe's like the most ghetto adjacent field you could possibly find. Come on, bro. Let me shut up. I'm gonna stop talking shit about this field and let this man talk about this tournament.
Dude, that's a shirt,
man. And man,
yo,
every call I got.
Yeah, that's the next Glue Guy shirt. Ghetto adjacent. Absolutely.
I'm gonna need one of those. I'm gonna need one of those.
Man, it's wild.
It's gonna be orange though. You all right with orange?
I'm gonna need one of those for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
So let's start there. What'd you hear about the field conditions as you were broadcasting there, sir?
Well, first off, the very first thing I want to say is Marlos. I need that hat. I love supporting.
Hey.
I love supporting the community, and Star as a Dallas Cowboy fan, but my bad.
Don't
Mark,
even associate. No.
But the hat is tough. I'm gonna need me one of those. So the next tournament that I'm announcing, I hope that I'm rocking that hat in support of you guys.
Indeed.
Thanks for having me on again. Yeah, I got a lot. Sure. I got all the score sheets from the weekend. I took a bunch of notes. I already saw a comment from my man Patrick Hester. If y'all didn't get to see him this weekend, he put on an absolute show. All the teams that have used Patrick Hester at first base should be ashamed of themselves, because that dude is a web gem waiting to fucking happen. It was awesome seeing my boy do his thing. And he's been doing it for months now, but this past weekend, just continuing. Hester is special at shortstop, y'all.
Oh, yeah, man. He came down. I saw he's playing some AAA because for him, Majors wasn't in. They weren't playing this weekend, so he's getting some swings. So the minute I saw him out there, I was like, "Oh man, come on now!" Because of how good he is. Not
you already know about his swing. Yeah, everybody already knows about that swing, but just the way he's getting it done at shortstop, it's that's my dude. I'm glad to see him healthy and performing at such a high level right now.
Hold on, let me correct someone in the chat. There will be no blue and silver Glue Guys. There will be none of that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty tolerant of a lot of things, but not that. That won't happen. No. I do have to say Patrick Hester's legit. It's like 100% legit, and I'm glad people are starting to notice him playing it short, because he's just as good at short. So hey, shout out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's doing his damn thing for sure. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that, familiar faces that were killing it. Some new names that I took notice of. It was a fun tournament. I mean, the complex itself, to me, and again, this is like our 4th or 5th tournament already this year. There, it's rough. And they took me from the mic because my team, ADT 480, was playing, and they had 4 different guys get hurt. And I'm sitting there like, I can't just leave my dudes stranded. So I lost some money, but I jumped out on the field. I played 2 games. The batter's box has no dirt in it. Your boy went 7 for 8, so, call it what you want.
Right on.
Oh!
875. You saw it though. Mark was there. He saw
the
outfield scared the shit out of me. Like basic base hits, I was scared because my guys were already saying my left fielder said one ball hopped up and hit him in his throat. And the game before, and obviously while I'm announcing, I'm seeing routine balls going through the legs, popping up. So the first hit to me, I was like, oh shit. And I normally try to charge the ball, and I just stood flat-footed, terrified.
Sounds like Tempe. Yep.
I would say
on brand.
Yeah,
it was worse than SRP. SRP has a bad reputation for its outfield. Tempe Sports Complex, I would say, is worse.
Worse in the Valley, dude. Worse in the Valley. By far, terrible. By none. By far, by none. You know what? I would rather go to a festival than fuck around and play at Tempe.
I'm good with that. Absolutely, I'd play a festival. At least, Glendale. At least they did work on SRP's infields. I mean, there's literally turf underneath the dirt now. Like they saw
even the boxes,
graded it out. Yeah,
even
the boxes
too. Yeah.
So right there, that took them above Tempe right there. The
Exactly.
outfield's no picnic at SRP. I'll be the first one to
No.
tell you. Listen, you don't see a bunch of guys coming out of an SRP tournament posting pictures of, like, they look like they got shot with paintballs all down their chest, like from playing outfield, man.
But I will say
I've never
this.
seen so many guys get hurt.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Michael Caburris. And as we talk about SRP, last year, Mikey was playing the best softball of his career, and a basic base hit at SRP, and he like tore up his knee. Like a basic base hit, and he just took one bad step, and SRP got him, and he missed the rest of the year. So I'm hoping nobody got too banged up this past weekend. Ice baths are your friend, but yeah, these outfields, they get rough. People talk trash about Legacy. We talk trash about Legacy, but you know, the outfield's quite a bit better out there, and obviously Cactus Yards is a favorite among many, but SRP and Tempe, scary places.
Yeah, I mean, Legacy, I got no problem with the field. That's about the only thing I don't have a problem
That's
with.
Yeah,
though they
Legacy's fields are legit.
even
It's
though they
everything
didn't-
else.
Now, look,
Yeah.
they didn't
else.
install it correctly. All right, the one field has a little drainage gully going up through center field, and you could see the indents of basically the drainage ditch, which you're not. It's supposed to be flat, dummies. But in comparison to the other shenanigans going on over there, field's miraculous. Love the field. The only guys that ever complained about that field were 50s, because 2 games outfield on the turf for 50s, man, your knees good night. But I never had a problem out there. I played league out there one season, so hey, that's the one thing that held up was the field. The fucking gate fees and the parking fees are the thing that fucking sucks.
Fuck them parking fees, man.
Oh man. But anyway, for the guys that survived the weekend, so real quick, oh geez, I almost forgot. I put it on the list and forgot. Real quick, let me give this out because it was pointed out to me this weekend and they were right. Before we get into the recaps here, we got to give some proper congratulations to 2 of the teams that went out to Vegas for the senior softball spring worlds. All right. I went with BPM last year, and obviously they figured out the problem because they left me home, and then they go out there and they win it. So it's as simple as just don't bring me with you. You got a shot at winning the thing. So congratulations to Blue Pill Mafia taking first place spring worlds, and then S-Bob right behind them, second place. So again, don't bring me. You got a shot. So congratulations to those guys. We didn't talk about last week. We were trying to get out of here. Saw a couple guys when I was there Sunday. I just want to make sure we got that out on the show. They earned it. Congratulations to both of those teams. Now this weekend.
Wait a minute. I'm going to be real quick with this because, I mean, no disrespect to S-Bob. They did finish in 3rd place. Arizona had 6 teams win at that event. So can I real quick? Arizona Desert Bells in the women's 40s AA, Legacy Sports in the 60s Major Plus, Arizona Monsoon in the 60s AAA, Renal's Realty in the 70s Majors, and Sidewinders in the 80s 85s Platinum also were champions representing Arizona. So not to step on toes, but I got to show some love to those teams. If we're shouting out 3rd place teams, I got to give love to the ones that actually won it. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I just, first of all, Legacy is like, that's like the reason they might put fair play rules in on, like that team's a juggernaut. All right. Half of those guys aren't even in Arizona. But everybody else, congratulations.
My bad.
I'll just say shout out Ronnie
doing
Salcido, who's playing on that Legacy 60s team. I'll give Ronnie a shout out. Anyway, you're right, though. Everybody who did something should be mentioned, period. I didn't get that far. Now, I'll be honest. I keep it real. I didn't look. Sorry. Because, when I started hearing guys chirp me from the 80s and above division here in the show, I'd be more than happy to start covering it. So, I guess we'll start. Let's knock out the 50s. For Him takes it. I didn't see who they played. I tried to go in, and the website's weird. You can't get to it after a tournament's over. I know there's a way. I just forget how to do it. So I don't know who they played. You probably have that info there.
For Him?
Yeah. Who did they beat for the ship? Did you
Well,
get it?
Here's the thing. There was no ship.
Oh, God.
Two of the divisions, I just talked about it on my show. So I gotta say it here. I hated what we did with the 40s majors and the 50s division because they did not have a double elimination format. They did 5 games each, and the best record won the whole thing. I hated it. I even mentioned it before the tournament, and they said that the teams agreed on it. Why would you, even if you're doing that, why would you not still have the best 2 records play a championship game? Like, I was very bothered by that.
Yeah, thank you.
I was very bothered.
No comment
by that.
necessary.
That's an L, bro. That's a big L. Man, that's a Sesame Street L right there. Why even do that shit, bro?
But that brings up a moral question. This brings up a moral question. This would be a good topic to discuss between the 3 of us. So if you're the team that finished first, should you be posting that you won the whole tournament?
If you're the team that finished, what was it? I'm sorry.
So if
you
you're in
finished
that
first,
situation, you finished first, should you be on Facebook posting about how you won the ship?
Yes, because you won the tournament. You didn't pick. Well, okay, and this maybe well. They agreed to the format. They performed best, so technically they are the winners. And I use technically because, they're the winners by structure, rule, and it's just that's really odd though. Why do that?
On my end,
what purpose does
It feels
that
like
serve?
a league night. Sorry, it just feels like a league night win to me. I'm sorry.
That's weird.
On my end, it says Facebook user. Can you guys tell me who said 5 games each when you had 3
We
teams
can't.
to play?
We can't
Nope,
see it.
you gotta guess.
We have basically been telling people for a year and a half, if you go into this particular page, you click there, you do this, you give it rights or whatever, it'll show your name. Most people don't. And then when we say, hey, we don't know what the fuck you're saying or who you are, then they get mad, and so fuck them.
Oh,
I don't know
Mickey.
who that is.
There you go. Yeah, because I was
Exactly.
looking at the comments last week. I like how Pino, after every comment, he put Pino. Like,
Pino.
So
Exactly.
Now,
Because
Mickey's
people
up.
don't want to get yelled at.
Exactly. Now, in response
Mickey's
to
going
Mickey,
to say he doesn't know the address or some shit.
I 1000% agree with what Mickey said, and I can show you the text message that I sent to the bosses that said it, because you're not playing the same team the same amount of times. So if there's a really bad team and one of those teams got to play them twice, you're at an advantage right there. Now, in this particular case, though, for him went 4-1, Thunderstruck went 3-2. So technically, like, you know, y'all saying, they did have the best record. However, Sunday, 10:30 a.m., Thunderstruck 20, for him 5. I would have loved to have seen those 2 teams play in the championship.
Things that make you go,
It just
L,
made
bro.
it
That's
just
an
made
L.
too much sense. And again, if I get in trouble for it later, I shouldn't, because when y'all hired me, you know I say what the hell I want. This was not a good structure tournament.
So here's
here's
what
get
I
out of
wanna
the
hear.
way. I
Here's
have been
what I
here
wanna hear,
before.
But
This is
here's
like
what I want
deja
to
vu.
hear. Here's what I want to hear. Was there any justification for having to do this format?
They said
I'm
that
good with a no. I'm good
they
with no.
literally said the teams agree to it, and
See, the thing about that,
I
see,
sat
the
my
thing about
phone
that
down and I walked away.
Hold on. The thing about that reply, right? I am a master evader. You know what I'm saying? I have a certification in bullshit arts. The teams agreed to it because you presented it to them. They
Sure.
didn't just go up and say, "Hey, why don't we do this? Let's agree to it." Agreed to it means you presented it to them, which still asks why. What benefit did that serve? Did it save time on the fields? No, you still had 2 days of games.
It wasn't
Did
the day
it
two,
save?
yeah.
Did it save money? I mean, you still had 4 fields at Tempe Sports Complex running. Why? Why do that? The rest of
Right.
what's worse is you did that on one part of the same tournament.
Yep. And again, now respect to the factory. For him did beat Thunderstruck on day 1. They beat him 21-20. But 20-5? I'm gonna want the rubber match.
I'm gonna want to run it back. Yeah.
I need to see, because even if I'm the champion team, I just lost 20-5. Like, I finished the weekend 1-1 against this team. Our one was a 1-run win. Theirs was 15. I need to find out something. Like, you need to put us on this field and give us an opportunity to see who the top dog is this weekend. That's just, I don't know. Kudos to the AAA division because they still get to play double elimination tournaments.
So
For as much as guys talk, right? As much as guys love to post on Facebook and talk, and we did this and they did that, and everybody can't wait to post pictures and this and that. When it does come down to brass tacks, I gotta agree with Dre here. Like, you need game 3. You need game 3 there, or don't be posting, don't be talking, guys are so quick to get on that post, man. But hold on a minute.
Everybody
now
wants
just
to
hold
win.
your horses. Hold your horses. Oh, we already know that. Look at the fucking rosters from AAA this weekend. And I'm not saying I'm better or worse. I'm just saying saw a lot of guys not on their regular teams who said, yeah, they asked me to play. All right, so
weird.
I tell you what, I give Paul credit because having to go over them fucking rosters Thursday or Friday, God forbid, bro. God forbid. Because there are a lot of guys you don't normally see in AAA playing AAA this weekend. So guys are trying to get that win. I agree with you. Any means necessary. We got to win that AAA championship at the parking lot, baby. at the drive-in. We got to win that one.
But while we are still talking about the For Him 50s, Rich Kupfer was the most valuable player. Getting to watch him, he's great leader, very vocal presence, and he played really well. Gresham is an absolute legend in my opinion. Anytime I get a chance to watch him play, he puts on a show. Bruce had some big hits. Man Holland pitched his tail off. They had a lot of good things going on for that squad this weekend. So congratulations, Cup and rest of the crew. I didn't like the format, but kudos to the way it ended. Rich definitely was smashing the ball out there for them.
Yeah, he just celebrated a recent birthday, too, so happy belated there, Rich.
Rich, you getting better with age, baby.
He really is. Well, he's finally able to get healthy. I mean, Rich was walking around on a bum knee for I don't know how many years, so I don't know if he got surgery, but it healed. He had time to get it healed. He's been a different player ever since he came back. It's going on almost a year now, I think. He's just been lights out, so yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. We can knock the majors out since then we had 4 teams. Also, we could kind of get them squared away here. It's getting confusing now. I'm gonna let Jimmy know right now. Look, we can only have like one money team, man, because like we had Dirty Money, which used to be like a D team. Now it's actually Craig's got the seniors doing that. Then you got these Tucson boys calling themselves Easy Money. Like, why are you making it harder on us, man? Why? Come on, can you guys like get in a room and figure this out? And one person comes out with money. I don't care if you got a rock paper scissors. Rochambeau, whatever game you want to try, all right? But can we just have like one money team, please? Please?
This one was more definitive, although it was the same format. Blue Point went 4-0. It was still 5 games, but Blue Point had already clinched it, and they were going to play Easy Money, who, respectfully, they were 0-4, so they just didn't play that game. Standard Plumbing went 3-2. AZ Heat 55s went 2-3. So Blue Point got the title. They looked like they were in a different class. That team absolutely loaded. They had the JK family. The JK brothers and Mickey and Greg. Greg almost at 800. They had some good things going for them. Miggy bouncing around. Swiss Army knife playing any position need be, pitching, everything else. He was the MVP. That team, when you look at them on paper, you knew they were going to win it. And then, just the numbers. Shout out Calvert. Calvert wasn't even there, and he sent me the stats. He was the only winning coach that sent me the stats, and he wasn't even there. The teams that were there, their coaches, be better if you want to get recognized the right way. Put your numbers together, so I can talk about it with the glue guys here.
Yeah, we gave up on that almost a year ago. We tried.
It's hard,
but
I feel like I'm chasing these guys.
Bandits representative Jergy, as Randy would call him, Jergy is he's disputing that they were in a different class because they beat Bandits by 4 and by 1. So I think he's basically saying that he doesn't feel they're getting enough respect in your commentary here. I think is what he's saying.
Okay. I might not have looked at every stat. I'm sorry, but end of the day, you still lost.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna be over here.
I'm over here just enjoying that one. That was
because I'm usually the one getting slammed. Like, well, 2 weeks ago you said I'll just sit back and enjoy the ride. Now, welcome to the Terradome.
Welcome it, Jesus.
Jesus. I had a couple of people tell me I was a little too timid when I was on with you guys. I had to step my game up a little bit. So
yeah, I mean, I do gotta agree with Jerry. My first comment, because obviously I didn't watch a lot of games. My first comment Sunday when I heard that Bandits and everybody just kept saying somebody won. I didn't even know about the format until right now. So that makes me kind of shaking me up. I'm trying to wrap my head around that the majors did that too. But my first comment was, who was Bandits missing? Because Blue Point they have retooled. Dave's done a great job. That team can win any tournament. But while they were kind of figuring it out, made a couple different roster moves, I'm telling you, from January on, Bandits still is a juggernaut. So for them not to win something, now they've been so good for so long this year that my first reaction is always, well, who was out? Because I just assume they didn't have their full squad if they didn't win, kind of thing. That's how dominant they've been. So, I mean, just to kind of paint the whole picture, Jergy. Nobody's shitting on Bandits. Easy.
Yeah, my bad, Jergy.
Easy.
You know what? But you know what? You know what would have helped this? A championship game.
Yes, agreed.
Sorry.
We're throwing shit. Let's go. See? It looks easy on the other side, but you get behind here and it's a whole different animal. They come at you.
Yeah. I would. And that was my thing just with the format of it, is like, why am I going to leave the field that I'm on and the games that I was doing to go? It just would have been nice to see a championship game. So if respect is being taken away from the Bandits, and my apologies, I probably should have looked at the numbers a little bit better. But if that team has won 4 tournaments this year and this Blue Point team loaded the way they are, damn, the people would have loved to have had a chance to see those two teams battle for the ship. 4 runs, 1 run, they might have made adjustments. They might have found the way, but
we still don't know why.
And
we still don't know why.
It's a shame. It is a shame that the people got cheated of that opportunity. But I hope next time we can do better and I can bring that game to you guys live.
I can tell you right now, knowing the guys. I know why.
I'm stuck on it because now I'm really trying to figure. Look, at first I was just being myself. Now I'm really kind of wondering, like, who the fuck makes an idea like that and goes, hey, this makes a lot of fucking sense. Let's do this. Like, yeah. I mean, because again, I mean, I always try to look at it from a business sense, from a player sense, from a game sense, a team sense, time, all of these things. I try to factor them all in. I'm not a complete asshole, right? But what I keep hearing is, of course, it didn't shorten anything of the tournament. The tournament was still essentially the same period of time, reserved fields for the amount of time that they had, the umpires that they had, etc. And you had teams that probably should have just played out a championship game. If you want to do this weird schedule wonky-wish bullshit, then why not still finish it up with a top 2, bang it out, and that's your championship or something. But again, I don't understand the idea of just creating fanciful, fucked up ways of running a tournament just for the sake of doing it. While you're doing the same tournament, you have the normal format, and you're not doing it because it's like, I understand when they do like a 1 pitch, right? Because of rain or because of environmental effects or something like that, or limited fields or some shit. So we go from let's do 35,000 teams on 3 fields to let's do a weird fucked up ass bracket type of fucking thing when we have plenty of fields. I always question what the fuck people are doing when it comes to softball, and this is another one of those instances where I'm like, why? What are we doing? We're delegitimizing teams like Bandits and teams like Blue Point, who really would have played that out, and it would have made for great stories for content creators like ourselves. It would have made great stories for them. It would have set them up for a certain level of momentum going into the next tournaments, next times they play. It sets up some of these players for different opportunities, and we're just taking that because we just fucking feel like it, and we don't feel like actually having to answer why we're doing things like that. That shit is asinine.
And I'll say this, knowing players on both teams, I'm pretty confident in saying that both teams would have welcomed that.
Oh, of course.
Also, in For Him and Thunderstruck, I don't know those guys as well.
Of course.
And
I'm
the
not
guys I know.
I don't want to take anything away from. I don't want to take anything away from those teams, and I know those teams know that I've, a couple of those teams, Blue Point, obviously, Bandits, obviously, I pick Bandits practically every time they play, so they know the level of respect that I have, and if you don't, then you're an asshole. But that's my problem. These are teams that deserve that level of respect, and to me, as sanctions, as tournaments, as tournament directors, as bystanders, as content creators like us, these teams deserve the opportunity to demonstrate the level of performance that they're at in comparison to the teams that they play with and that they're in the same division of. Yeah. And it's almost disrespectful to put them in a position like that. Yeah, of course they agreed to it. Or are they going to say, nah, we don't want to do it? And you're going to go, okay, cool, we'll do the other. That doesn't work that way. And we all fucking know that. Come on, bro. It's ugly. Whole thing is bad.
I feel those guys at Major are very competitive, man. And when they go out, they play hard. So
absolutely.
It's just, those guys are very, prideful too. So it's, Bandits has an argument, Blue Point has an argument, but it's gray area, right? We don't have a black and white, this settles that argument for this weekend now. Now it's a murky subject, whereas I know everybody playing would much prefer, like, hey, we played, we won, or we played, or we lost.
That's right.
Like that's a black and white. This was a score on that date, and you won or you lost.
Believe it or not, even what happened to Dre right here in this conversation, where Dre's kind of like, hey, I didn't, my bad, I didn't look up, et cetera, et cetera. That doesn't happen if that championship game happens. Why? Yeah. Because then all Dre has to say is, well, Blue Point pilled it out, or Bandits pulled it out, or pilled it out. Right? Either one, that way it's pretty much it is what it is, and it ain't. Yeah. And you either win or you lose. Now, obviously, you could characterize it like, hey, they got smoked or something. That's not my point. My point is, at that point, there's really no argument as to who was the better team, and better team is always going to be determined by who wins and who loses. But when you put it in a situation like that, it leaves way too much for subjective decisions and content and shit. And that's again, I find that just to be really disrespectful for these teams. And again, we're all setting all this shit up so we can go to Worlds and show out, right? We're all setting this shit up so we can go out and, and demonstrate how good our teams are. And some of that is shown by their schedules and the number of championships and word of mouth. Word of mouth doesn't happen when you say, oh, well, I don't know who really won it because nobody really played the tournament. No, we all go by titles, bro. We all go, hey, they won 5. They won 5 tournaments. Just like Mark, you said, hey, or someone else in the chat said, hey, we won 4 tournaments this year. Dude, it's April. Right. You won 4? That's smoking, folks. That's the shit that we get talking about, that teams talk about. Now we're just going to say, hey, play a couple games and be cool, bro. We love it. Fuck that. That's weird.
Yeah,
it wasn't our tournament to flip the coin, chat. Sorry.
Yeah, man. We should have flipped the coin. Yeah, coin flip nationals all day.
Yeah. And again, sometimes when you get on here, and you just start spitting, having just did, my show and then jumping on here and, again, apologies. Most of those guys probably don't give a damn, but me and Jerky go back a long time, so I meant no disrespect to your team. I wasn't as prepared as I should have been because there was no championship game. But damn, I'm looking at this roster because, again, I didn't see any of their games because of the format. I don't want to say I wasn't interested, but I kind of wasn't. Because it's like you're not going to get to see, that event at the end. I think as an announcer, you want to be there at the end for those moments, the championship game. But damn, that is a roster. I just pulled up the roster, and I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, so shout out
hey,
to
you
Bandits.
were-
I would love to be on the mic for one of their championships because that is a squad that I'm sure at the end of a tournament, nobody's going to want to see them if given that opportunity. And Blue Point, it would have been great theater, and that's something that I've taken a lot of pride in with the jump. I mean, U-Trip let me do it when I was there, but NCS is letting me, especially with the younger guys, building theater, building the build up for that big matchup between two powers. This would have been a damn good one for myself and anyone else who wanted to watch it to see. So I hope we get that opportunity next time.
Well, I tell you, you're in for a treat because what's been happening with majors, yeah, we'd love more teams. Trust me, we would. But the teams that are there now, Bandits came out of the gate so hot, but everybody's retooled and tried to strengthen their roster. So now Blue Point's back, all right, and they're formidable. We'll just say they won this weekend. They won the weekend, and they're formidable. I think they won a tournament before that too. That's the best way I could say it, right? That's fair to the guys who play.
I love it. I love it, dude.
So they retooled. I mean, look, Blue Pill Mafia just went out and won Worlds, in Vegas for SSUSA. So they retooled. They got a couple guys. So every major team does not accept not being the best team in the division, and they do everything they can to get back. Bandits had a rough year last year. They had guys get hurt. And they retooled in that 4 in a row, And so anyway, majors divisions is always competitive. So you have some fun in store for you if you can get these guys playing against each other over at NCS. A division that's not as clear cut.
Circus.
Where not
Circus
not
division.
Not every team is so much prepared to battle with the top ones. AAA had 12-13 going in this weekend. I appreciate you broadcasting. I got to see a couple games while I was out at work Saturday, so that was nice to kind of keep track of what I could. I did get to see a fucking team blow a 13-run lead in an open inning and still win the game because the team had the bases loaded and the guy first pitch swing and popped up on his front foot. They went to extras. That team held on to win an extra. That is always blows my fucking mind. And the other thing is they walked no one in the open inning where they're just bang, bang, hit, walk no one. They get to the extra inning and then decide to walk somebody out. Where the fuck was that in the open inning? It might have won you the game. But anyway, It was fun to watch. I got to see one of the JD games, which is nice. And then I watched, I think it was, I saw another game earlier again. But it was nice that was available to me as I was sitting in Las Cruces pulling my hair out.
I got you.
Not so good as when I watched JD get fucking run ruled by 480. That wasn't fun. I was pulling my hair out. The crew I was watching didn't really understand English, and every time I yelled, they would all stop working and thought they were yelling at them. I was yelling at the phone, at the squad I'm playing with, so that was kind of, I don't know, not funny in the moment, funny looking back. So I got to see a lot of different softball. Interesting in the ship. Early on, looking at the scores and what games I saw, your boys looked really strong, 480. JD had a great pool. They went 2-0, took first seed. A couple teams were 2-0. I thought, wow, okay, 480's got it. Because usually they start strong and then kind of peter out. But I thought, all right, maybe this is a tournament. They put it all together. At the end of the day, a fucking stacked-ass roster. And I'm going to call it that. I don't care what you fuckers say. All right, double-dipped hits for the ship. And Men of Action is a fucking stacked roster. I don't tell me any different. Just don't you won. Congrats. You did it. You won the games. You double dipped in the ship. It's hard, all right? So you did the work. But goddamn, boys, come on now. Come on. I'll leave it at that.
I'm a slip a cocky comment in before I get too into the announcer, the unbiased part.
We'll answer.
My boys 480, first off, shout out. I love those guys. Lost by 3 to Team Hits at 8 a.m. on Sunday while I was on the mound. I would like to think that, if I was in that game, we beat Team Hits. I said it. Say something, Fig.
Fair.
No. No.
Fig ain't something you got to worry about, by the way, but go ahead.
Nah, that's a friendly, I always love talking to Fig. Team Hits is impressive. I mean, what I've seen out of them this year, they've been a player in almost every tournament. Some names that I'm still getting used to. Matt Appel is great. In the three for them, hard hitting lefty, very, very talented. He's got a bright future in the senior game. Bam, at third base, I love what he brings to them. I mean, you could talk about everyone in that lineup. Vernon Strange is one of the best shortstops in the senior game. They're really impressive. Men of action, they were loaded. I completely agree. I'm not sure how many of those guys are actually part of their team, but they all had jerseys, and almost every jersey had the correct name on it. So I think they're here to stay, and they were fun to watch. My man Julian Escalante showed out. I mean, you could talk about so many guys on that team, but Jules, to me, they talk about most improved, and it might not just be most improved over the course of a year, but Julian Escalante's game just has grown leaps and bounds, in my opinion. I love watching him. He gets dirty any chance he gets on the defensive end. The switch they made moving him from second base to shortstop, I believe, won him the tournament. And that's no disrespect to dude that was that short. Julian Escalante being switched to shortstop and the way he hit won them that tournament.
Yeah, Fig deserves a lot of credit for having to rebuild that team a couple times here in the last year, a little more than that, year and change. A lot of guys coming in and going out for whatever reason. We don't have to get into that because I don't know. But, you got to give the dude credit because I'd say, and Los, correct me if I'm wrong, last 4 or 5 tournaments we've covered, hits has always been up in there.
Yeah, they've been
always,
close.
Top 3, top 4. So,
Yep.
Fig deserves a lot of credit for going out and finding these guys because, look, let's be honest, a lot of the senior guys are not unknown. Everybody knows everybody at this point, So Fig finding a couple of those gems, diamonds in the rough, and then, getting some established guys to come over and run with them. They've been one of the more consistent teams, kind of similar to Sonoran. I mean, Sonoran's always there, top 3. So those kind of team, and Hits was on top there for a long time. So, Fig rebuilding it. Let's give him his proper credit. Men action, look, there's good dudes on that team. I got friends playing on that team. I don't know who's playing where now because I just saw 5 of those dudes on another team that they swore, that like I don't know who's playing where, when, how. I can't even make sense of this shit. And it's not just men of action. I mean, BTB this weekend, we ran out of gas against them Sunday morning. They just fucking killed the ball, and they had a couple pickups, but fucking Timmy Myers he was hitting so good they ran out of home runs and he put one out. He couldn't stop hitting them. He was hitting, just killed the fucking ball. They were 5 and us. I think we went first 4 innings. We both got 5 and we ran out of gas, man. We just bad swings, double play ball, boom. That's it. One bad inning, game's over because those guys weren't stopping. And then, the next game they play, they look unstoppable against us. I was sitting there to watch it after we lost. Then they played you guys, and I think they lost. I think you beat BTB.
Yeah,
we
bats
did.
Went cold, So it's a little pitching, it's a little guys in their own head, it's a little everything. But it was crazy how one game one team would look one way, and then the next game they totally shit the bed.
Yeah, Fine gave me shit for eliminating them, but it's like that sometimes, man.
Yeah. Fine's going to give you his shit regardless. He'll find something. We all.
I put the mic down and I still do work, brother.
You got to be careful though. The thing about Fine that you can say a lot of things about Jason Fine. The one thing that no one can say, even his doubters, all right, he doesn't stop. All right, he's 100% all the time. Energizer Bunny when it comes to having something to say.
Yeah, he shouldn't have doubters. He's a hell of a talent, great hitter. I think I've been in the dugout with him. I've been in the dugout with him and McGrew. We won that tournament. It was a great day, and just to keep watching the way he handles his business at the plate, but he's a vocal leader as well. If you're a team that talks trash, you met the wrong one when you run into him. I mean, hell, he even hung around because he was there with Stoner, and he was trying to tell me how to do my job announcing, and I'm just like, look, man. But so he can do a bit of everything. I like to bring him, do some color commentary on a live game sometimes, but he might get me kicked off the air. So
he's smart enough to know. I mean, I'm going to be playing golf with him here in a couple of weeks, so it is what it is. I just want to point out his consistency. I want to make sure, but A guy I want to shout out, Jimmy Garber on Sickness Squad. Pitcher, Garbs. He's wearing 99.
Yeah.
Man, I saw that dude play in League of Victory a couple years ago, just learning how to pitch. All right, kind of figuring it out, pitching at League there, pitching at League at Rose Mofford. And he's, twice I've seen him now, 2 different tournaments, and that dude put the work in. Mm-hmm. And maybe they didn't win everything. Maybe they didn't get high enough in the standings where maybe we touch on it. So let me get it out of the way. I got to see him pitch a little on Sunday. And his come so far, man. Like, that team's winning. All right, and he's pitching. So pitching's a big deal in senior, especially AAA. So, shout out Jimmy Garber for all the work you put in, man. I'm glad to see you're having success over there.
Yeah, that team, I mean, the first couple tournaments, I saw all of them, I mean, without being too blunt, I wasn't that impressed. But that's a good thing because, like you said, they're rounding in the form. They're playing really well. I got to give my man Sam Gallardo some props because he was pitching for them late in the tournament. When they eliminated us, they beat us by 1 run to get to the semifinals. Gallardo was doing his thing on the mound. But Garber was hitting the ball well too. I mean, they still were doing work, but Sammy finished for them. I think they're going to continue to give teams some problems for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how these rosters settle out. I mean, I know guys are getting swings on weekends their teams aren't playing, but man, it's the one thing I hope to change, and I think everybody's trying to get there. But
okay,
senior softball is not the craziest to lock their roster. They're just a little crazy on how you only get one move, I think, but. So
what do you guys think about that, though? As you make mention of change, I mean, I'm gonna throw a question out there for both of you guys. How would do you have any suggestions on that change? Because if a team isn't playing on said week, because it's weird because it's like, let's say you have a 12-man roster, but only 7 of them can play. Instead of getting the 5 subs, they just hold the team out. Those guys are going to other teams, though. They want to play ball. They want to get away from their families for the weekend. Just kidding.
I don't have a problem.
But yeah, it's just like, I mean, if their team's not playing, you're gonna see them. I don't know how you can change that, but if
I don't think it's a problem. I don't think
because if you get too creative in trying to change it, you're gonna end up with tournaments with like 5-6 teams.
I don't think it's a problem though. I really don't think it's a problem because. Ultimately, it depends on what you're looking for. Are we looking to establish a running tab, so to speak, of these are the teams that are the best teams and they're consistently the best teams week after week because they have the same roster week after week? No, we're not ever really doing that. We don't rank. We don't do anything like that. Yes, UTRIP has, the PowerPoints and whatnot, but at the end of the day, none of this shit really matters when you get to a tournament. The issue is, of course, people want to play and they want to be able to play. And then on top of that, there are coaches that see opportunities to, get, let's call it more points. Cause I know, in each of the sanctions, there's a point system. Essentially, they want to get more points. They want to establish their team, even if it's not necessarily the team that they're going to take to worlds or to nationals or states or something like that. They still want to be in a better position because theoretically they're all getting better draws as a result of having more points, more wins, etc. I don't really see the problem in doing that. I know a lot of people say, and we've said it today during this show, there's, teams are stacked, teams are loaded, blah, 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 but we're back to the same point. As long as those players are within the right division, it really doesn't matter what team they play for. And theoretically, there isn't something saying that a player can't play for a different team every week, every tournament, if they so chose. The only commitment that we all talk about is the one that we've all manufactured to call loyalty, because you quote unquote commit to play for a particular team as your main team. If, for like you use the example, if this team isn't running this week, do you just sit at home? Nah, you say, hey, I want to go play. I'm going to go play with someone else. Or, or if you're a good enough player, people know who you are and they say, hey, are you playing this weekend? You go, nah, I'm playing. I'm not. I'd love to play. And then you go out there and play. I just don't really see it as a bad thing. I don't see anything wrong with it, really, as long as those players are playing within the confines of the rules that have been established. You start fucking with that, then it starts being eye test, and that's weird. And I think it's unfair to those players, those teams, and everyone involved.
I think there's a happy medium somewhere. I think you can find a number where guys have to be creative or have to make choices where, you could jump off a roster once a month kind of thing. You could still go get swings in when your team doesn't play, but you can't just do it every single weekend.
But isn't that
And
what's going on right
that's
now?
my opinion.
But isn't
It's a
that
free-for-all
the
right
reality? But no, isn't that the reality? Because there's one U-Trip tournament every month. There's one, maybe two NCS tournaments every month, which means if you're doing it right, without even trying to be creative, your main team's playing over in U-Trip, you go play for somebody else in NCS. Doesn't matter that those teams often overlap, but your idea right there, it is exactly that. I mean, look, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 right now. I'm doing that right now. Like one on the NCS tournament, I'll play for one team. On the U-Trip tournament, I'll play for another team, and then I'll do it again, and then I'll do it again. And I'm not like one of these freaking superstar players or some shit like that. But what I am saying is, it is still once a month. It does still mean that I'm able to play. And then, hey, my team's not playing this tournament. Let me go over here. I don't really see anything wrong with that, because who loses with that? No one loses. In fact, to Dre's point, it ensures that there's an additional number of teams, or, you know, a reasonable number of teams. It ensures that some of those players are still getting views, because I guess that's the other thing is, if you're on a team that isn't that good, or you're on a team that isn't playing well, a team that's three games and out or something like that, and then on this weekend, you end up hopping on, you know, BTB, for example, or you hop on JD Tools, or you hop on 480 or something for that weekend, and you end up running off 5 or 6 games. Now, all of a sudden, all these other coaches and players and teams are seeing you, and you're performing at whatever level you're performing at. Now you're building your opportunities up. I don't know how that's ever going to be a bad thing.
I mean, all I'll say is this. Like I said, I think there's a happy medium. I don't know the number. I had thought about it a lot, but I could never come up with something that I was 100% confident in. And every time I come up with something, most of the time I run it by Los, and he'd blow enough holes in it where I'd be like, all right, it's not ready. And it wasn't him, you know, it was him giving his opinion, but it was enough of an angle I hadn't thought about, or so I never really pushed it that hard. And then the other thing is, you know, whether people want to tell you it or not, the truth of it is, there's a minor factor of, all right, what's the other guy doing? And if I really tighten something up, how bad is that going to affect my bottom line?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So you got this weird gray area where you're trying to do right, you're trying to get the rules right, but no matter how much guys lie, you know, sometimes it's bigger than other things, but there's always a factor of what are the other guys doing, and let's not get too far off the reservation to where you just lose everybody. It
really comes across like a problem, like a solution that has no problem. Because what I keep coming back to is very much like this ridiculous format of the tournament for this weekend for some of the divisions. Why? The answer, when you can answer why something is a problem, it then makes finding a solution that much better.
Well, I got something for that.
I'm going to go back to what I was going to say. Why is it a problem for a team? We're going to use Arizona numbers. We're not going to use any manufactured, recreated bullshit. There are basically 2, maybe 3 senior tournaments per month for the majority of the months of the year. We're going to go January through June. There are 1 tournament. There are 2 tournaments. Go ahead.
So and both sanctions are guilty and not completely following through what they said. So I don't know how this is going to end up. But at one point, NCS said your ranking and how you do in our sanction is going to factor into your seeding come our you know, what was called the legacy tournament. I don't know what it's called now. That was going to affect your seeding, how well you did. And then on the other hand, so I'm not calling out one sanction. You know, U-Trip seniors said the same thing, that how you do over the course of the year is going to play a factor in your seed at Worlds in Dallas. Well, it was in Houston, now it's in Dallas this year. So both sanctions are guilty of saying something like that. If that's adhered to, and that becomes a factor if these teams are going to play in these Worlds or whatever, cups, whatever we're calling them, all right, then I'm giving you a problem in that if they're piling up those points and the roster's changing, it might be something that'll be looked at.
Okay,
again,
so wait,
I never came up with a
100%
100% solution to it either.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Now, for once, and this probably won't happen for a long time, I'm not being sarcastic, but the reasoning you just gave is the exact reason that I addressed initially here a few minutes ago. That's the reason why teams are doing it, and the benefit to teams doing it, which then I come back to, where's the hurt? which is again back to the why. You answered a reason people do it. You didn't say why it's a problem. And because what we're suggesting is that by having, I'm use a random number, by having 1,000 PowerPoints in NCS or UTrip or whoever wants to call their own PowerPoints, right? Having 1,000 PowerPoints means you play at 10 o'clock versus 9 seed. Versus if you have 800 PowerPoints, you're playing at 9 o'clock against a 12 seed. Which one of those? And I mean, let's be real. What the fuck does a seed mean in slow pitch softball anymore anyway?
Oh, well, now if you're going there, then I have a different argument in that, because I've watched how many teams fucking sandbag pool games, starts like the 13th seed, like, and then you go 2-0,
run the shit, right?
But you go 2-0 and bust your ass, and you look up your first bracket games against a team that went 1-1, but you know goddamn well they were sandbagging that shit. AC Heat was fucking notorious for it when they were playing 40s.
But so again,
all right, if we're getting down to brass tacks, because we'd like to end the show at some point today, you know what? You get that one, because I don't have a strong enough argument why we need to lock anything to go any further right now.
I think it's the eye test. I will say, I'll speak against myself. It's the eye test. We don't like the idea. We don't like the idea. All of us play. All of us know. We don't like the idea of seeing certain teams excel all of a sudden because of additions that are temporary. We don't like it. Not most, I would say, I won't say all are ridiculous. Most softball players do not like to see teams that they know are of a certain caliber excel or succeed based on players and changes that are not their own or permanent. But in reality, there is nothing actually wrong with it, because the people are on the roster, the people are the right division, they're not over the number of chips. These are all the rules that are put in place for roster changes. Now, I could totally see that if it was like at Worlds, the day before Worlds, you go and load the fuck up. Okay. I get it. But I'm saying across the regular season, right? Because I'm saying, look, there's nothing stopping a team even from, okay, let's say Worlds is October 1st. There's nothing from stopping a team from going, look, we gonna pick up this dude, this dude, this dude, this dude, this dude, and this dude, roster them motherfuckers on September 15th, show up October 1st and dog walk everybody. There's nothing wrong with that. Because what you can't tell someone is who they cannot play for. And that's the other problem underneath that, is there's nothing stopping me from playing for someone who wants me to play for them. And so we're saying, oh, well, we should lock the rosters. But why? Because we don't want certain players to play with certain teams for certain periods of time. There's really nothing different about, hey, we need a guy, or hey, we're trying to, as you've used a number of times during this show, tool up. We're trying to make replacements, make changes, get better. There's no difference. How do you make that difference? We don't have fucking practice. Hey, practice. That's how these teams get better. They play in tournaments with players. Yes, I used your lone front line from the note. I don't understand how you can police that when that is by far the normal method of tryout, the normal method of experience, the normal method of being added to a team permanently, the normal method of, it's the same. I don't know.
Listen, I think all three of us have heard at tournaments whispers behind our, while we were sitting watching games or even playing, where you hear the team waiting to play the next game, or for your case, straight broadcasting, where, to the side of your, oh, well, they picked up blank, blank, and blank. Of course they're fucking winning a tournament. So it's exactly what you said, right? It's an easy out, all right? If you got your head kicked in, it's an easy out. Well, they had so-and-so, 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 because what's it called wasn't playing. It's an easy out. It's an easy excuse. Instead of, hey, they were just fucking better. Like I said, I didn't play in the fucking game, but I'll call it. 480 was better than JD fucking Saturday night. To get run ruled in the fucking senior game, they were better. It wasn't this dude playing or that dude this. No, they were fucking better.
16-1.
We'll see you next fucking tournament. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. Good job. We'll see you on the next one. Like, what? Now, look, JD's credit, we come out and they beat Baracho's next game. Got me to be able to play Sunday morning. So you live, you learn. You tip your cap, you move the fuck on. Or you try to pick up those 3 chips for next tournament.
I want to. Can I say something on this subject? I mean, and again,
run it up.
I got the full story, by the way. I mean, if you want to get into it, it's kind of boring to me, but we can get into it. I got the full story.
I don't care about that.
Okay.
16-1. That's all I care about. But I want to say something about the subject we were just talking about. Again, I don't. We can go back and forth about like, oh, maybe the sanction should put something in place for X amount of times a month, or we can just call players out. Like, here's my thing. Hear me out. Players should challenge themselves sometimes. Like, if your team ain't playing and you're a solid player, why just immediately jump on the best team available? Go play with like a middle tier team, really establish yourself as a giant, and help somebody that's, a 2-2 team be better. I mean, how are you going to get better as an individual if you immediately jump on the number one ranked team in the state? You are Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors. Congratulations. Go play on another team for that weekend if your team ain't going to play, and challenge yourself a little bit. That's just my thoughts on it. I mean, I get, if and I'm not picking on Mickey. I'm using Mickey as an example because of his situation.
Standing.
But if a Mickey Czar is available this weekend and like number 1, number 2, number 3, oh, let's go pick up Mickey Czar. First of all, for your team's sake, why? You already have this great team. You got that chemistry within. Don't go get another superstar and move one of your top guys around possibly. But if you're that star player, a Mickey Czar, go play with a middle tier team. Test yourself. Play against some good teams that are going to hit the ball hard and make you run those gaps. That's what's going to make you get better. That's what's really going to help you get that work that weekend, in my opinion.
Well, real quick though, Mickey's screwed. It's just a bad example because
again, it was
Mickey
just
can
his
only play major.
He's just using his name. He said
I was just using his name
But,
because of the fact that he's a
fine.
free agent a lot of weekends because of his
Right.
situation. So in that case, go play for like a 6-7 seed type of team. Run down some gaps and press those better teams because you're that damn good. But why just jump on the best teams and make mega teams every weekend? And again, the pro aspect, I went to basketball, I'm sorry, but Kevin Durant did join the Golden State Warriors when they had just won 70-plus games a season prior. You can play, if you're going to play that weekend, you want to play so bad, I say challenge yourself a little bit sometimes.
All right, so here's my comeback for that, right?
It ain't going to be a popular take. That's just
Look. Nah. So there's a couple issues I have with it, right? A couple issues. One, at the end of the day, we're still paying to play, right? And I'm going to be honest, and I think most people, if they're honest, you yourself as well. If I'm paying $35, $40 to play on a weekend, and I have to essentially weigh the options of playing 2-3 games versus 7, no brainer, right? Yes, I can understand, and I do understand the idea of, okay, if you go and play for a mid-tier team, you're kind of challenging yourself. Okay, I can go with that. But again, you're paying to play, which means if you're paying, you want to make the best choice. Would you go buy a car that isn't up to the standard that you require because it's available, or would you buy what you can afford and what meets your needs? And that's kind of the same assessment that most people would want to make. The other thing is, more times than not, I don't believe a lot of players are reaching out to teams and saying, hey, can I play with you this weekend? That sounded weird, but still, I don't think very many teams are doing that. I know at least for my
wait. Pause.
Right. Pause. Right? Can I play with you? It's really weird, right? So, I mean, look, even from my own experience, right? What I don't really ask anybody to play, right? But I get teams asking me to play, and more times than not, which I'll say this straight up, more times than not, it's who asks first. Now, the other thing that I notice, which we haven't taken into account about some of these pickups and things like that, the teams that are in the top tiers or the mid to top tiers or right on the cusp, those coaches are constantly looking for who they can pick up when they're missing a guy, or who they can pick up to see about staying. Those coaches are reaching out to these players. Those coaches are making that move themselves. The responsibility is, in fact, overall, on the coaches. The coach's job is to field the best team they can field for that tournament. So they're the ones asking, hey, dude, I heard Mickey's not playing. Using Mickey as an example again, just by name. Hey, I heard Mickey's not playing. Let's see if we can get him. They're not going to wait. And then the other thing is the lower tier teams or the mid tier teams, a lot of their coaches are shy, or they're aware of what they are. They are aware of how they compare to another team that's way better than them. So they automatically walk themselves out of it. It's kind of like like the dude who wants to talk to the girl. Well, he thinks he's not cool enough, so he doesn't say anything. Although she would have been down had he spoke to her, but he doesn't. So is it her fault that she chose the other guy who did come to her, or is it his fault for not making the approach? It's probably a little bit of both, you could say. But here in softball, to me, at least, the responsibility remains on both the coach, the coaches that are making the moves. You want your team to be locked up and solid and pick up somebody crazy for the weekend, holler at them. As a player, if you want to play for the weekend and you want to win and you want to be in a position to play more games, are you going to pick the team that's struggling? That doesn't necessarily compute, because we're also not talking about a permanent choice. We're talking about a weekend. We're talking about, I got $40 and I'm trying to play softball. $40 and playing softball to fuck around and have a 4-hour wait and all that shit to play 2 games versus 7 or 5 or 6 or whatever, to win versus 3 and out. I don't think that's about how well you play, because even if you go lights out 8 for 8 over 3 games, who sees it? That's I guess why I don't necessarily, and I don't want to sound like I'm completely disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it makes it a little more difficult, because I think there's a lot of factors and a lot of variables as to why people pick up on certain rosters, why people pick up on certain teams. Because again, who wants to lose? Yeah. Like, let's just keep it a buck. Who wants to lose?
Oh, my comment was just to talk shit. I knew it wasn't going to be agree.
It's all good. I mean, that's one thing. That's the thing I do. I just try to point it out as logically as I can, or at least with the basis that I believe it. Not necessarily saying your reason is wrong or you're wrong. Not at all. I'm just saying those are the types of things that go through people's heads. Those are the things that make people make those decisions. I'm even saying it from a personal standpoint, because I look at it that way. Even on the teams that I'm on, I'm like, dude, we playing in Maricopa. Who's gonna be there? Like, who's gonna be there? And I'm like, I'm not gonna go. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Just, nah, man.
James Denny made a comment that made a good point, just based off of what I was saying, because like Jackson has been playing so well this year at AAA, and he played with We Stay Fly this weekend. If Jackson hoarded himself out, he probably could have got on one of the better teams, but he made quite a difference for We Stay Fly. He actually got on the mound. Haven't seen him pitch in a while.
Hold on. But did he ask them?
Fine played with We Stay Fly 2 weeks before that, too, so let's give him his credit also.
But I'm back to the same question. Right. Did he go, I'm going to go play for We Stay Fly? Or did Jason hit him up and go,
come on.
Hey, man,
we're talking about
you
Jason.
playing? What's up?
Come on.
I'm saying this with the
but
most
couldn't he have been
possible.
like, wait a minute, before I answer this, let me put a free agent post out and see if I can get picked up somewhere else this weekend. He challenged himself to play with another team.
But I guess that's my point. So if someone asks you and you say, nah, I'm gonna hold out, that's kind of hey, that's a choice. But then okay, fine. However, what we're also saying is maybe he had an impression of the team different, and they said, hey, do you want to play? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll play. That doesn't necessarily mean he's challenging himself at all. Because let's be real, right? Using your example for, and I love when people say this about KD, right? Using your example with KD, yes, he joined this team, right? He still had to hit his shots. He still had to do his job. I've seen some of the people that we've just talked about go 0 for fucking 0 for. You still have to do your job.
Why you call me out like that? That's fucked up.
Hey, I'm just, I love you, bro. I have to keep it real with you, right? But what I guess what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you still got to do your job. And whether I'm playing with an 0-5 team versus a 70-0 team, if I go out there and shit the bed, it don't matter what I did. I still suck. I'm not challenging myself. I'm terrible. I'm not doing the job. But, at the same time, if someone says to me, hey, dude, you suck. We want you to come play with us. And I'm going to say, yeah, I'm challenging myself. We're all assuming that players are being asked because they're good, or players are being asked because they're, he is the shit out of the ball or some shit. And he goes out to that tournament. He goes 0 for 5, but we don't say that. We only mention it when a player that we know is pretty solid, when they go out and all of a sudden they go like 9 for 30, 9 for 10 and hit 35, 6 home runs or some shit. Yes, I'm using ridiculous numbers on purpose. When they do that, then we complain about it. We go, oh, well, what, you just went and picked up on such and such. But how many times have you seen players who are top tier players, really good players or whatever, get picked up, go out, shit the bed, no one says a fucking word? So the problem isn't, in fact, the player. It is, in fact, the situation. They still have to do the job. At the end of the day, it's a big yellow ball. You still have to hit it. And I've seen the players we're talking about, myself included, you, Mark. I've seen us all go out and shit the bed. I've seen us all go out and and go fucking nuts on the field. I don't know that there's anybody in a position really to say, I mean, had he not went to that team, they wouldn't have won. That's why I always fight. I always push back on those comments, because if one dude can beat you, well, I always push back on those comments, because if one dude can beat you, then I mean, one dude would lose the tournament too. See, that doesn't, and that no one wants it. No one likes to say that. No one.
Depending on the dude, one damn good dude can make a big difference. Depending on
that still means. But here's the thing. This is what I'll admit. I baited you, right? Here's the thing. That one dude, if the rest of the dudes on the team don't do shit, that one dude at most in one game can only account for 5 to 10 runs. Mathematically, if you get 5 ABs. If no one's on base, 5 ABs, no one's on base, the most you can account for is 5 runs. No matter what. We
lost the team hits by 3, and if I played in that game, I'm accounting for 5 runs. We beat team hits.
And that's feasible.
If I did not buy a Dodge Journey in 2014, I'd probably have a Tesla right now, and that would have as much basis as you just said. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
I'm not even going to use my own name in this. I'm gonna say this. If Mike Kalis, first of all, if you're calling him Michael Callis, you're wrong. His wife told me. She's a very nice lady. If Mike Kalis did not play for Sickness Squad, we would have beat them.
Okay.
He made a huge difference in that game. Again, we're just talking shit just to be
orange. It's orange, Mickey. Duh. It's orange.
I'm sorry, yeah. Trey, we got this long inside joke shit. He said
orange.
Burnt fucking banana.
Damn it.
He's trying to come up with new words now. It never goes away, Mick. It's not fucking orange.
It's orange, bro. It's orange. No, I mean, look. I see. My only thing, my thing is I always look at the ifs, because we all do that. Because I mean, I've had a few instances where I'm like, if I had not popped that ball up, we would have won. If.
Well, look, guys. If there was real dirt in the fucking lefty batter's box on field whatever when we lost, I don't fucking slip out and fucking fly out, or pop out. I wasn't a fly out. I'm not even saying fly. It would have went over the fence. I would have done my fucking first Euro step, and JD would have won. I'm just saying, dirt was in the batter's box.
And if JD would have won, they would have played against 480. That would have been so great.
I was hoping to.
And if I didn't have other things to do, I would have been at BTB's game. And
we sent them home.
Would have hit. And see, if I was there, you wouldn't have sent them home. And if I was there, see what I'm saying?
No. We beat the brakes off of BDD.
Hold on.
You were not accounting for that many runs now.
Hold on. Here we go. So you just said what I said at the very beginning. I could not change the outcome because why? I could have only accounted for 5 runs, which again means one person couldn't change the situation. Thank you, sir.
But wait. I also missed. Hold on. I also missed the game against 480. So if I could have got out of work earlier or whatever, I at least would have had 2.5 runs. At least 2.5. So now we're getting closer here.
So you would have at least played in. You guys would have made it to the open inning instead of losing 16-1. So that's a big difference. Yeah.
Listen, nothing about my ability would have changed that one. my mouth would have made sure we didn't go into fucking.
Yikes.
There would have been a lot more than one after an inning or two. I literally would have been fucking Larrying motherfuckers in the dugout with some of the swings that they took. Fucking just. Anyway, just
shout out to my boy Michael Pino, even though Pino just made a comment disputing what I said, because he always does that. He's so literal. I love him. But I was proud to wear my my JP jersey this weekend, and Pino be out there. So for me and my son to be rocking that jersey for you, bro, all love, man.
Yes,
Happy to
sir.
see you
Bullshit.
playing senior ball. I love my guy.
I don't know who that is. It's not bullshit because it's hypothetical. You missed the whole point of the last
all
25
ifs.
minutes.
Yeah, that was the whole
Paying
point. It's all
attention,
ifs.
Thanks for
Yeah,
staying
take-
with the show. Thanks
Nah,
for
man,
being
it
present.
was just because it was you, dude. Don't take that from
I'm
him.
well
I wouldn't
aware
take
of
that
that,
shit
but
either. I wouldn't take that
but
shit
no,
either if I
fuck
were
that.
you, bro. Nah,
I don't care
go
if
get
he's
him.
joking because it's me or not.
Yeah, go get him.
You know what?
Fuck
Fuck
ain't no
you.
jokes.
I
Ain't no
went 3
jokes.
for 4 on Sunday, so
Oh,
sucker,
shit.
you know what? So it's
Oh,
possible
shit.
I could have accounted for, wins over above
2.5 runs.
replacement.
Oh, wow.
2.5.
Whoa, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I
okay.
whipped that war. We'll all money ball
Wow.
and shit.
I will touch on the subject. Those JD Tools guys talk shit on 480 during the pool play game, and then played them again in bracket play and got beat 16-1. You
Front
talk
runners?
that good shit, and then
They
you
didn't
get
talk
whooped.
shit.
16-1. You didn't even get
They
an open
didn't.
inning in a senior game. Now what? 480 for life, baby. ADT.
Slow down. Take a breath. Slow
I'm
down.
done. I was proud of my
The
guys
only
in that
shit
moment.
that was talking was after the pool game, they were fucking around with Jeremiah because he used to be on JD. That's the only thing that was said. So I don't know who on 480 took it the wrong way or whatever, but they literally were just fucking around with Jeremiah, and that turned into talking a bunch of shit. I don't know how it went from this little anthill to a fucking nuclear bomb.
I don't know.
I'm on that team 'cause they don't
woke.
talk shit.
They
don't
were
talk
doing
shit.
enough because it woke those dudes up. My guys were fired up.
Well, then they should be able to wake
Crazy.
themselves up at any point because it was literally fabricated. So from
16-1,
now
right?
on, 40 exactly. But the fact of them getting fired up, they fabricated something to get fired up. Congratulations, 16-1. I gave you
Yikes.
credit before you gave yourself credit.
Yikes.
But there's going to be another tournament. There's going to be more games.
Good.
I'll
I
see you
hope,
then.
and I hope
Let's
the first
go.
game is against JD Tools because at least we know
I
we'll
didn't
get a
play.
run rule and we'll get back in the shape pretty
I
quick.
didn't
Uh-oh.
play.
Uh-oh.
2.5 runs. Los gets 5 if I can even get him out that weekend. I highly
I
doubt
guess-
it. But if I could, he'd throw 5 runs in. Let me take the hill and let's see about that
I
fucking
get
run.
5.
It won't happen if I'm pitching. It won't fucking
Wow.
happen. You heard me. Will
What ain't gonna
not
happen?
Fucking happen if I'm pitching.
Oh,
We
he
won't
said,
score
look, hold on, hold on.
16?
So he's
You
saying
will not
it will
run
not
rule
be a
my
run
team.
rule. He said it will not be a run rule.
It won't
If
be a
he-
run rule.
So if he himself pitches, that's what he said.
I believe
That's what I
that.
said.
I believe it wouldn't be a run rule.
Uh-oh.
But I still think we getting that dub though.
You should. I would
if
hope you
you're
wouldn't
there-
go into the game going, well, we might win.
I'm
'Cause
gonna
I
make
think
sure
the
I
same thing
keep-
on my team.
I'll put the camera on, but that'll be a game I'm in the dugout for sure. So.
Uh-oh.
I didn't play. That's all I'm saying. I ain't taking anything away from 480 boys. Beating anybody 16-1 is an accomplishment.
Jimmy
regardless.
De La Riva.
But I
Hey,
wasn't
Jimmy,
there.
480 is sponsored. Come pick up with us when we play JD Tools.
Why you
Oh,
gonna?
boy.
You just got good momentum. Why you gonna take it away like that?
Huh?
You just got good momentum, Team 480.
Did-
team. Why you
didn't-
gonna take
didn't-
it away with bad karma with Jimmy?
Didn't we just talk about getting pickups? Didn't
Yeah,
we
but
just
his
have
winning-
30?
But he lost his winning streak. His winning streak, his eternal winning streak ended this weekend. I don't know.
He
if you
still
wanna
has
take
like
that
a
chance.
9. Did you see his post? He still has like a 915 winning percentage. We'll take him.
It's on the downswing. I'm just saying, be careful. That's all I'm saying. You guys are building
Whoever
great
wears
momentum.
number 23 on our team, you lost that number. That's Jimmy's number now.
Can't even say shit about that.
Right? Like, what do you... Well,
Hey,
well,
Jimmy. No, like when
I'm
when a
making
star
sure
goes to a
Jimmy
new
gets
team-
his number.
No, when a star goes to a new team, right? Check this out. So Jimmy will make a deal where whoever's 23, he'll get him free solar to give up the number. Like you get 10 grand for the number, like Chad Johnson, all that shit. Yeah. They gotta make a deal here. Don't just give it up. You get something in return.
I played on a team once with a guy that we both loved 13 so much, we both wore it at the same time. Shout out Mike Pino!
That shocks me. I mean, Mike's
Yeah,
pretty vocal. when he's
neither
not happy.
neither of us were giving up our number. It was weird, but we both wore the same number.
All right. Well, anyway, look. regardless of who was on the roster, shout out Men Action. Great win. Team hits just to get there. You guys were winners bracket most of the day, so congrats to you guys out there, Fig and the boys. Like I said, I saw a lot of teams making moves. Sickness looked good. BTB looked good. 480 looked really good. Beside all the fun we're having here, 480 looked good this weekend. Barachos, I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on there. There's too much talent. That's all I'm going to say.
They need Juan back.
Yeah, I think Juan is the glue, man. I mean, I know he's hurt, but I mean, there's too much talent over there. I'm proud of my JD boys for hanging in there after getting run ruled. Win the next game right away against Barachos. So a lot of good stuff, right in the middle of the AAA division going on right now. I don't think it's as clear cut with the top teams as people think. But hey, we'll see. That's why we play the tournaments, guys. That's why we play the games. But yeah, we've been here an hour and a half, man. See, we get on these tangents and it goes nuts. We'll have to break off and do our own wrestling fucking show at some point, Trey. Marlo's don't want that. Unless we're talking.
No parts.
You know what? This motherfucker had the bendy Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, but now he's above it now. Right?
Hey, look,
he's older,
because the product depreciated in value to me.
Look, not everybody can do crotch chops and middle fingers, buddy. You gotta evolve.
Look, here's the problem though. Most of the shit that's going on right now is just not entertaining to me and not interesting to me, so I've left the property. So
I'll be honest, I haven't really watched. I pop in and out right around WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't even do that anymore. Maybe 5 to 7 years ago, I would do exactly what you just said. I would pop in on the bigger PPVs. Now I don't even give a shit. And it's entirely because I'm gonna call them characters. Fuck it, the characters now just aren't that interesting. Number one, number two, the writing isn't interesting. I think, and I don't say interesting to say it's bad. I say it's not geared towards me, and so I don't fuck with it anymore. I'm not one of those. Oh, it's fake. Nah, man. I used to get down. I fucking went to Raw and everything before Raw was a regular stop. I went to Raw and it was one of the greatest fucking events that I've been to in my lifetime. Problem is, again, the product has just went.
No, I'm messing. I can't consistently watch Raw every week. I can't consistently watch AEW every week. I try to stay up on it. Mostly reading websites and getting reviews if I even check on it. I'll jump in on the pay-per-views. But really, WWE was in bad shape until they got Cody back, and at least the Roman Reigns Cody thing was compelling. One of the better stories. The Bloodline storyline's been one of the best ones, compared to any generation or era. They've done a great job. And it's such a instant gratification thing in the world now, right? Everything's got to be TikTok, 10, 15 seconds. Everything's right away. Yeah. That, and wrestling tried to adjust that. It doesn't work, guys. A 2-week storyline doesn't work. And I blame Vince for that mostly. But, it's the only time it really works is when you tell a good story and you let it breathe, right?
Yes.
Bray Wyatt has only scratched the surface of what he could be because they keep fucking him with handcuffs. Like, oh, well, you got to have a big match. Let the dude tell a story. Yeah, there's certain things about that, and that's probably I'm too old school for it right now with the new way they're doing it. Characters aren't allowed to really develop, and they're back to being scared of not doing what they're told because Vince, went on a tirade there right before he left and now came back or whatever. Whatever. If you look at the next that they had to change that Triple H had before they flipped it back over and AEW whatever beat them, but it wasn't really competition. That was my favorite thing because it allowed these wrestlers, these young kids, to kind of grow, do their own promos, try different things, and Vince did away with that shit, and that was the end for me. That was the last time I got into it. So it is what it is. But maybe we'll do that. We'll break off. I don't know. We'll figure out something. We should get next time. It's gonna be a while now, but next Royal Rumble we should get Gio fucking involved and do the drawl and the shit all in a show. But we'll see. All right, look. We'll see us next week, Dre. Once again, catch Dre. The recap. Are you doing every Wednesday now?
Yeah. 4 p.m. depending on work. But today didn't start till 5. But typically it'll be 4 p.m.
All right. So catch Dre. The recap every Wednesday. Just get on his Facebook and he'll tell you the times. Also, broadcast over at the NCS live group. with the kids, the E's and the D's, and also with the seniors when he can. So, you know, you get a little bit of everything. I particularly would recommend you check out some of his work with the E&D teams. He really gets more involved with that. I mean, not that you're not involved with the seniors, but you know those guys at the E's and D's. You really add a lot of insight to the players if you don't know them. The seniors, you're getting there, though. It's coming. So check Dre out on that stuff. We always appreciate him joining the program. Definitely saved us with stats and stuff tonight because I didn't fucking know. Next week, we're going to figure it out. Hopefully, I got to find out when he's coming back from his little sabbatical there. But we're going to get Corey Miller back on here soon to get an update on some of our picks and how it's looking coming into soon with our and stuff. And we got a new show.
All I know is in E, I'm still looking good. In E, I'm still looking fucking fantastic.
Get the fuck out of GTFO
I mean,
over here.
Jesus.
God, stop,
bro.
man.
I mean, Jesus.
My God. You know, why don't you just put a big pile of fucking pool sand behind you and start bagging it while you fucking say that. Anyway, folks, we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining the program, Jay. As always, thank you. We'll have you back on soon. And
Yes,
remember,
sir.
folks, to be the man, you have to beat the man.
Yes, sir.